What's up, Holy Gang and regular people? Welcome back to another video on my channel. For anybody that missed, sort of like, it was like an about me. It was my story, my life story. If you missed that, then just go back and just watch the first video. But if you don't care about that, you just want to know about the topic of this video, then thank you for stopping by, tuning in, whatever. I'm a little bit tired, ain't gonna lie, because I stayed up late last night. For me, again, like I say, as a divine being, I got a lot of things that I'm always, tests and things from Father God that I'm always dealing with. So I sometimes, when I'm feeling all these shifts in the spirit, it can be very difficult to sleep sometimes. Okay, so I may end up, having to stay up praying and just doing things like that to be able to, like I say, just kind of keep going on and doing what I got to do. But it's not about me today. Today is the topic of this video will be how to deal with depression. So we're starting it off strong. We're starting it off very serious and strong. And as I say, to people I've talked to regarding many things, family and just others, depression is very serious. And I was thinking earlier today, I was just talking to God as I'm often doing, and I would, just tell him about videos I want to do, things I want to start uploading. I have tons, my phone is like full of topics. However, I was looking for something that could help the world right now, whatever that would be, something that could help the world right now. And when I look at the state of the world, the state of the economy, everything is expensive. You have just so much going on with wars and all this other stuff. So it's like, it's very easy to see someone slipping into depression. So now I believe myself to be one of the best candidates to speak on dealing with depression, as I have dealt with it. If you guys again watch my first video, you would have known that I did have a time where I dealt with depression. There was a time, many times actually. So that's why I believe that I am someone who can tell you how to deal with it and give you a lot of pointers and different ways that you can deal with it, so that it isn't something that keep you captive most of your life or all of your life. Because I've known people who have dealt with it all their life and they've never ever seemed to bounce back or get over it. And man, let me tell you, it is hard to see people like that. It breaks my heart in a million pieces, because I'd love to tell them what I know, but sometimes people pride, and if you know them, then you know them, so you just have to pray for them and you gotta leave it and just hope for the best, you know what I mean, honestly. But on the topic of how to deal with depression, to talk about it, first I kind of have to start with, what is depression? I don't think a lot of people know even when they have it. I'll work different jobs, and all the jobs I've worked on, guys, I'll hear people say things like, I don't ever, I have trouble, I don't ever sleep. That's one thing I'll hear. Like, I may have trouble in warfare, sleeping from time to time when I'm in a shifting season where my life is about to dramatically change, like right now. So I may have difficulty because of warfare and just spiritual shifts and things of this nature. And then, everything just goes back to normal, everything's fine, but it's not depressing me. Like, I'm not sad, I'm not up because I'm sad or something like that. But these individuals will say things like they are having actual problems sleeping every night, or they don't eat very well. They have, their appetite is terrible. They may feel like they want to eat something today, tomorrow they're eating nothing. I understand if you're fasting, again, if you're saved for God and you're fasting for Him and trying to get closer to the Holy Spirit, things like that, that's completely understandable. But to just not eat, it's kind of abnormal, seeing as human beings have to eat. I mean, I'm divine, but I'm in a human body. I have to eat too. Or, guys, I ain't gonna be here. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that because I don't want to, underestimate the power of God. But again, it can get bad. That's my point. So back to what is depression. So again, these people will be telling me in different things they go through. Or, they're up all night strolling. This is, of course, some people say that's anxiety. That is a whole separate topic, video. But the topic today is depression. So again, what is the depression? So to the short answer of what depression is negativity. It is a negative subconscious and conscious mind that is always negative. So that would be the root as far as natural things are concerned. Now, of course, we can go deep into the spirit, but again, this is more for you normal people that are not saved and you're just trying to get help. I'm not going to go too deep into the spirit realm. I will say that my bias is that the best way to deal with depression is God. I'm always going to put God over because I know how good and how real He is. That is the way to deal with it the best. But I'll give you nearing the end some pointers on how to deal with it. But of course, first, depression is negativity. And it's like not just negativity. It's negative feelings, it's negative thoughts. And these negative feelings and negative thoughts stay with you every day, all day in some cases. It may get off you sometimes, and some people may feel that they are happy for a moment, and then boom, near the end of the night, you crash again. And you need substance, or you need some kind of drink or something like that to get you through the day. And it's a lot of things that people do, and I'll hear them say, hey, I'm going to get tore up tonight. I'm just down this whole bottle. I go home. I've heard that many times. Guys, I've been working out here, regular jobs, just so you know, for about 10 plus years, okay? And not in one place, but from place to place. That's kind of just how God has had me do throughout my career of working. Some places longer than others, but in the end, 10 years, okay? And in that time, I have seen many people deal with depression many ways, and I knew it was depression because, again, I'm divine, I'm a chosen one of God, so I have the ability to see through people, and I can see through what they say and the intent behind it, what they do and the intent or the reason behind it. It's discernment, okay? So back to the point, when these people would say these things, I just kind of listened to them, and the way they would describe the drink or the smoke would be in such a way that they need it in order to get through their actual day. And again, when I hear these things, I don't like it, because again, I'm here for people. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for the humans. I'm here to love everybody and support everybody. That's what God created me for. I'm here to do that. And when I hear people say things like that, I feel the same way my father does. I don't like it. Because I feel like I know that there's an issue, that there's an actual problem deep beneath that, the surface of whatever it is they're doing. So whether it's not sleeping, or it's drinking, being drunk all the time, or needing to be drunk all the time, needing to be high all the time. And again, I would know it stemmed from a sort of depression. You look at these people, guys, and let's just be honest, okay? A lot of them, you know, they come from poverty, like even myself, okay? So I understand it. I have been homeless, for those of you who don't know. I've lived in a homeless shelter with over 30 men in one room where everybody has like bunk beds and whatnot, okay? Where you're taking showers that, you know, you're with strangers. You're sleeping around strangers. For a month and a half, it was like they were my family. My family was full of just strangers, random people that I had to get to know on a whim and just live with them and around them. Deal with whatever issues they brought to the room, whatever it was, to the dorm. I had to deal with it. So those were some low points of my life. I definitely felt some depression trying to creep in there, and you know, I had to battle it, and I had to deal with it. But we'll get back to the how to deal with it. I just want to tell y'all so you know I'm qualified to speak on this. I've lost a mother. I knew how that depression hit me. It hit like a ton of bricks. I mean, it gas you out. It wins you completely out. When you lose a mother, especially you're close to someone like that, a mother or dad or somebody like that, man, you don't know a loss until you lose them. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't know loss until you lose them. That's going to be a terrible one. And that's why you're going to need to come right back to this freaking video, because you're going to learn how to deal with it. And I'll make a separate video, how to deal with death in the family. So stay tuned with that stuff too. Okay? But for today, again, it's just depression. And I know y'all probably like, man, really, I wish you'd get on with it. I promise, we're getting there. Like I say, I'm like my father. I'm the gardener. You know, I'm prepping everything, and once we get to the end, you're gonna understand why you had to wait to hear it. So again, when I'm hearing these people and they're talking about everything they're gonna do, I know it stems from depression. They have a negative. I hear how they talk, guys. You know, they're always swearing. They feel the need to curse all the time, every other word. That comes from bitterness. Okay. Bitterness is sort of depression, okay? Just outward. That's what you can consider bitterness, is a form of depression. It's just a more pronounced version of saying, it's like saying, hey, I'm depressed, so I'm a curse all the time, okay? Every other word I say, I'm a curse. You know, even sometimes anger. A lot of times anger is depression, you know. As they say, you know, depression is rage turned outward. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, and even all of that, and I've seen people like that, many people like that, and I knew what it was. So I know that it's something that is plaguing the world right now, and that's why I'm going to give you guys now advice on how to deal with it. But now you understand what it is. It's basically just being negative, feeling tired all the time. So meaning you might have got a full 8 hours of sleep, wake up, you're still tired. And that's every day. Not every so often, every other day. No, every day. If you feel that way every day, or maybe every other day, I'd still say it's probably that. And how to identify it is to monitor yourself. You got to watch yourself, guys. You got to pay attention to yourself. I try to do that all the time. I'm not a perfect person now, so don't get me up here making you guys think I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. But I try to pay attention to myself. So if you see that you're overeating, for example, sometimes, guys, you're ordering those DoorDash and Uber Eats orders to compensate for something. Now, I love you, so I'm going to get on here and I'm going to tell you the real truth, okay? I'm going to give you something to think about when you get off of here. Some of you guys are drinking, a lot of you, to compensate for something that you don't want to face, something you want to forget, which is causing you to have depression. See, depression goes deep, even into regret. Regret can breed depression. Unforgiveness can breed depression. See, now we're getting deep on it, okay? We left just feeling tired not experiencing joy. So meaning a lot of things just don't seem to give you much joy anymore and things of this nature, and that can be a sign, more of a natural sign. You may feel negative about everything all the time as well, which again is a reason you can't experience joy. You may feel, man, like it's just a lot of things. It can be so many things, and that's why I say, but again, on a deeper plane, it could be unforgiveness. It could be, like I said, you don't love yourself enough, so that can depress you, that you don't feel a certain way that you would like to feel about yourself, like maybe you don't know who you are. That can depress you. You're a person that just roamed this earth seeking answers. You don't know who you are. You'd love to know, and you don't know, and that lack of understanding even yourself can create a self-loathing that can cause depression. There could be many things, guys, that can bring depression upon a man. But what I want to now tell you that you understand that is now how to deal with that. And of course, as I said already, I'll say again, this is something I will always say, God is best for this. Now, some of you natural folk, y'all are on here. I love y'all to death too, so don't get offended that I call you natural folk. I gotta have a way to differentiate you, okay, from the savies and the divinees and whatnot. You're more natural people. I understand y'all ain't there yet. That's fine. Some of you at this time may not even desire to be there, may not even serve the same God, okay? And again, you're here to get help. So this has nothing to do with religion at this time. But I will tell you, he's just, to me, and I'll always say this, he's the best to deal with this. Okay. Now, if we want to get into some practices to help you deal with depression, the first thing I would say is you need to find out the root. You got to find out what it is that's depressing you. And this comes with being honest and observing and being observant over yourself, just watching yourself. So when, for example, what are things that you want to do in life? Because a lot of times it may be that depressing, that you can't do what you want to do. And the mindset that you choose to take because you can't do what you want to do depresses you. And you have to figure out the right way to think. Okay? Possess the right thinking, guys. This is so important for everyday life. Trust me, I work at a job right now that God has me in. And if I was to think, and I'm telling you, if I was to ever start to think the wrong way about it, because it is a humble job, okay? I make enough just to do, it's a restaurant, okay? I make enough just to do what I gotta do. And maybe just a little bit more to save, okay? Obviously, he's gonna increase me, so don't worry about me. If you like to say a prayer, I'm never gonna stop you. But just again, understand that I'm in a position right now that I don't exactly want to be, right? But I'm being tested, guys. So don't feel bad for me. I'm going to pass the test with flying colors, I assure you. God will give me the strength, okay? But just understand that I'm like I say, I understand you guys. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm at your same level of this is something that if I think this certain way, it's going to make things difficult. I'd even quit if I was to let those thoughts just take over me of, man, I ain't never gonna get nowhere here. This ain't never gonna, God ain't gonna never come through. You know, the negativity creeps in, then I'm done. I'm cooked. All right. I'll wake up one day and say, forget it. I ain't doing it. Right. And then I have to go back and beg for my job back when I get my senses. So that's what I mean. You know, maybe you're in a place where you don't want to be. Maybe you're doing things you don't want to do. And because of that, you feel depressed. The way that you need to think about that is, maybe it's a test, right? And if you don't believe, Maybe it's just something you have to do for the time being. I mean, think about your parents. There were things they had to do, guys, that they didn't want to do. If you don't have parents, there was something your caregiver had to do he didn't want to do. She didn't want to do. Just think about it like that. And my old man, he always would tell me, sometimes, guys, he'd tell me, do what you got to do. So you can sit there and be a Gen Z to the fullest and whine and complain and moan about everything you got to do, or you could just be a real man or a real woman. Put your head to your work, and guys, just do what you got to do. Just have tough skin, okay? And just be strong, and just think about the positive, which is I'm paying bills, okay? I'm able to live. I'm able to have a place to stay because I'm able to work. The economy is crap right now, so I don't think having a job right now is the worst thing you could be doing for yourself. In fact, I think it's the best at this time. It's one of the most secure opportunities that you can have for right now. Unless you're rich, you hit the lottery, and you just get tons of money, this is what you have to do, okay? So just take it in a more mature mindset is what I will say to a lot of you about that. If it's something that you're doing you don't want to do, how to deal with that is to take a mature mindset. Just do what you got to do. Take your wins where you can get them, which is if you're just paying rent, you're just putting food on the table for you, your kids, if you have them, thank God for that, be thankful for that, and just go with that, okay, until things get better. If it is a woman, like a breakup, because depression can obviously come from something like this. There was a YouTube guy, he's famous to some people, not to others. And recently, you guys probably already know who I'm talking about. He had a girl, his girl cheated on him that he was with for years with his best friend. As screwed up as that is, it happened to him, okay? How would you deal with that? Obviously, that's going to be something depressing. Well, first, again, one of the first ways to deal with depression is positivity. Positive thinking. And we say these things so often. You hear people say it all the time. It's just like, man, come on. Positive thinking, I don't want to be positive. I just want to be negative. Okay, well, here's the thing, all right? I'm going to give positivity to you guys I'm going to serve it to you in another way so that you think about it in a different way. Think of positivity as a power, right? Negativity is something that drains. It takes away from you, and it tries to affect you like a cancer, and it just spreads throughout your entire life, and it just keeps spreading until eventually it gets you to a point where you want to delete yourself, right? Which is very bad. The only way that you're going to combat and continue to remove the cancer that is negativity is with positivity. Otherwise, it's not going to go away. You're going to be more and more depressed every day. It's just never going to stop. Okay? So if it's a breakup, you just be positive. You always think of the good. This person's not in my life anymore. Yeah, I don't have access to doing it, right? But at least I'm not being manipulated or used or whatever they did to you that made you have to break up. At least I'm not hurt anymore or confused or whatever. Just always keeping positivity in the forefront of your mind, and thankfulness. Thankfulness, guys, is so wonderful for positivity and for feeling good in the morning. I'm telling you, sometimes, man, the warfare will be tough even for me, and I'll wake up heavy in the morning, and I'll do my prayers and I'll do everything I need to do. And one of the things I know that just complements that is waking up, thanking God for another day, for my job, for the good person I'm talking to, just everything that's going well in my life, apart from the test he has me taking, okay? And even thanking him for the victory over the test, just claiming it before it happens. So for a lot of you normal folk out there, that to you looks like just being thankful, okay? Just being thankful every day for every day and everything that you have currently, and not at all worrying about what you don't have. That is very powerful for your positivity, and that's why I consider positivity a power, the power of positivity, because it changes lives. It doesn't just change your mindset, it changes everything around you. Little by little, slowly but surely, everything around you starts changing. Trust me, one time I was living in the ghetto, okay? Straight hood with a bunch of folks, like a boarding house, and I was there for a little over a year, almost 2 years. And that was the place I had to go to after I left the shelter, believe it or not. So one test, right straight into another test without any stopping, okay? And I had to believe that God would take me and bring me here, which is a place that is way better, okay? It's like a college, dorm type place, but it's not loud and obnoxious like you would naturally think, full of parties and crazy stuff. No. It's actually very peaceful. We have a gym, we have a pool. We didn't have none of that in the boarding house, okay? Closest thing to a pool is a dirty sink or a toilet that somebody has stuff with, But that's my point, okay? I had to be positive in that situation. I was in a situation I did not want to be in. I had to be positive. I had to not just have faith that he would deliver me from it, but I had to be positive every day. Otherwise, the negativity would have overcame me, guys. I would never made it out. Back to the shelter. I'd see people shooting up substances out in the park. That broke my heart. But I knew this was a place, and I didn't mention this, but it was heavy depression in the air. I'm talking, some of you know what I'm talking about, but there are a lot of you who don't. And when I tell you depression was so heavy in that room, it was just as thick as air in maybe 100-some degree weather, okay? Being in a condensed place, that's what it would be like in 100-degree weather. Just thick, heavy depression and sickness as well, because a lot of people were sick during that time. Because guys, this was during the winter when I was in there. Worst time you could be in a place like that. So, other than maybe the summer. But again, it was thick, a depression just all around. And like I said, you have people shooting up drugs right out there, guys, and it was real. That was a real challenge. And to wake up every day and be positive, man, I tell you, forget about it. That was going to be one of the toughest things to do, but I was able to do it because of God, my Father. And like I say, I knew I had to, otherwise it would overcome me. My situation would literally have taken me out, and I would have been right out there shooting up substance right with those people. I'm dead serious. So when I say to you guys, the key to defeating depression is positivity. It is. Another thing, before we wrap this up, I don't want it to be too long, but if it is, it's okay, because it's helping people, okay? So I got to get out of my comfort zone with wanting videos to be real short. Another thing, guys, is positive things in your life, right? Focus on those and doing those. So not just being thankful. Now we're entering having hobbies, okay? Things you do. It isn't good to be an idle mind, just somewhere somebody's just thinking all day, in your head all day. And that's the problem, I think, with Gen Zs. They're in their head all the time. And it's like, in your head is a battlefield, guys. I'm gonna tell you the real truth. Your head's a battlefield, okay? And again, I understand we got some folks that watch my channel or whatever, they don't know God or believe, that's fine. But understand, it's still real though, okay? So your head's a battlefield, and your enemy, all right, those of the shadow realm, is always trying to start with getting you here. They can infiltrate here, then they can get you to pretty much do anything, okay? So you need to understand that you need to be out of your head, because that helps you to just embrace and just enjoy life a lot more. So just go to the gym, guys. If you know, I see a lot of people I work around, guys, and like I said, throughout all my years of working, I've only met maybe a few people that went to the gym. And I'm like, what? Like, you guys just don't care about your bodies, or like what's the actual deal? Like, what's going on here? So, and again, if you don't love yourself enough, even some of that is due to depression. So what I'm telling you, and I hope you'll listen, is try to find a hobby. I don't care if it's martial arts, you know, like traditional, or like boxing, which is martial art, or anything that would be, obviously not anything, guys, you know, don't get me up here telling you to do something wrong. I'll get in trouble with my father. But I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. Decent, normal things, like I said, a hobby, right? So for some people, again, that's a martial art. Others, that's a gym. I don't suggest yoga. I'm not, again, guys, I can't, like I say, there's a video that will come out about some stuff like that. I can't suggest that stuff though, but just anything helpful, anything beneficial to you that is also not going to diminish your moral standards, whatever they are, or nothing that's going to, you know, get you locked up, you know, something stupid. So maybe that's going to the gym and playing basketball. Do it, okay? This is me telling you to do something positive to lift your spirit. That's what the purpose of having hobbies are. And it's to teach you to get out of your head and stop overthinking about every single thing and everyone, and overthinking about life. And just so basically, positive thinking, having hobbies. That is a good way to deal with depression. Because a lot of people put you, like, you go to the doctor, they're going to put you on medication. It's like, medication for what? This is a spiritual, emotional, mental issue, okay? Sure, the pills will numb you out, or it'll make you feel whatever you're feeling. But still, in the end of the day, if you stop taking it, guys, it all just comes back, because it never went away. So I'm teaching you how to deal with it so that it can stay away, and you can be the medicine yourself instead of relying on the substance, okay? So just understand that these are things that can truly help you. Another thing, I will be honest, some things we eat can affect our mood, can affect our energy levels, etc. So you may want to start there as well if you don't want to feel depressed, because it's like the body gets its own sort of depression from things you eat as well. So it'll make you feel slow, sluggish, tired all the time. So maybe for some of you it ain't that you're sad, because some of you watch the video and may say, I'm not sad. What's he talking about? I don't have any of this stuff he's talking about. Well, maybe you're tired all the time because of the way you eat. So you got to monitor that. And like I say too, going back to the exercising thing, the gym thing, the reason it's so good is because it actually boosts mental health. Because again, in this, with Gen Z's, mental health is something you hear about all the time now. Because their mental health, a lot of people, unfortunately, isn't very good. And that's one way that you can maintain good mental health, is staying active. If you're not, you know, if you guys aren't religious, right, you don't know God like I do, so you're not going to pray to him as I would recommend and get close to him, and so he can take care of you in a lot of different ways, then that's what you have to do, okay? And if you are, say, saved, so because I know I need to say something to those, because I know, you know, some of these may be watching and they're like, okay, dude, you just been giving out lots of advice to normal people. What do you have to say for us? Simple. When you're in a situation like that, you're probably being tested by God. Meaning when something is coming against you, trying to depress you, trying to hurt you, I think this is a call for you to fast. Yeah. When things are, warfare is intensifying, meaning your managers are coming against you, or you feel like you're having anxiety attacks, you're having problems and things like this, you need to pray and you need to get closer to God. And one of the ways of doing that is fasting. Okay? It's one of the best ways. Another one would be, again, like I say, just stand in prayer and practicing. One thing I've been learning and that God has been dealing with me on is holiness. This is a part of the Holy Spirit, which is like divine, okay? And this is one of the 7 spirits of God that he has us to practice. There will be a video about the 7 spirits and how to walk in them every day. But this specifically is what I'm saying to some of you that deal with depression as chosen ones or believers. When you feel these feelings, you need to understand that they're not yours. They are from a foreign spirit. They're from the shadows, okay? They're from the enemy. And it's trying to get you and lure you away from God. So it will attack your faith through fear and doubt and all these other things, even problems, to get you to focus on him so much that you forget him, and then you begin to fall into depression, anxiety, worry, fear and all these other things. And then you have these spirits messing with you, okay? Because understand, you're being monitored at all times. So you should be praying against monitoring spirits daily if you're not, because they're watching you, and they watch you all the time. And familiar spirits, which are the closest to you, because they're like your enemy. And like the saying, right? Friends close, enemies closer. They are the embodiment of that statement, okay? They do just that. And they're the ones that's behind you having pride and being puffed up and arrogant and trying to get trying to basically heighten and encourage you in any weakness that you have in the flesh. Simply put, I will have a whole other video about the different things. So we're at the end, guys, again. So other ways, I'm just trying to shoot some out to you guys as well, other things that can help. Obviously, I would say join a group, prayer group, maybe a church of a sort. They can put hands on you, pray for you, and keep you lifted up in communion, okay? Because that is a good thing, which is counsel, another of the 7 spirits of God. Being amongst counsel and having that there, people to help you and talk to you, is a very good thing. So even if it's a Zoom meeting, guys, a mental health Zoom meeting for some of you that are not yet saved, get in one. If you're not in one, get in one. Try to get you a little nice group of people that are desirous to stay positive in a very negative world in which we live in today, unfortunately. And because I'm going to tell you guys the truth, okay, as a